When Lena moved into the old Victorian house on the edge of Hollow Creek, she thought it was her fresh start. Nobody else wanted the place, not with its peeling paint, creaky shutters, and yard overgrown with brambles, but the price was irresistible. Still, there was something about those narrow, shuttered windows that seemed to follow her. Almost watchful. It wasn't the kind of thing a reasonable person would admit. Not aloud. Not even to herself. But from the moment she turned the key in the rusted lock and stepped over the threshold, she felt eyes on her. Lena had come to Hollow Creek to write. Her last book had flopped, her apartment lease expired, and the city felt like an echo chamber of disappointment. A quiet town, a cheap house, and time, that was all she needed. Or so she thought. The first week passed without incident. She catalogued the house's quirks: a draft by the front door, a warped floorboard on the landing, a loose window latch in the attic. There were noises, of course, houses that old make noises. Wood contracts, pipes groan, shutters tap in the wind. Nothing unusual. But then she found the marks. It began on a rainy Tuesday. Lena had spent the morning delightfully lost in her writing, characters unfurling like ribbons in her mind, and only left her desk to make a cup of tea. When she reached the kitchen, she froze. On the far wall, just above the scuffed baseboard, tiny scratches marred the paint. At first she thought they were random, the sort of incidental dings a house collects over decades. But these weren't random. They were letters. HELP, spelled out in thin, erratic lines, as though someone had carved them with a fingernail. The words seemed too intentional, too deliberate. Lena's pulse spiked. She blinked. The scratches were still there. No amount of blinking erased them like a trick of the light. "This place is falling apart," she murmured to herself, reaching for a sponge and some paint. Probably just old wood showing through. She scrubbed hard, then dabbed at the wall with a fresh layer of primer. When she stepped back, the surface looked smooth again, as though nothing had ever been there. That night, however, she woke to a tapping sound. Soft at first, like rain on the window, but more rhythmic, more intentional. Tap, tap, tap. She rose on an elbow. Her clock read 2:13 a.m. The tapping continued. Tap, tap, tap. From somewhere inside the walls. Her breath hitched. Tap, tap, tap. Slow, measured, like someone was knocking on them from the inside. Lena pulled the covers over her head. "Just the house," she whispered. "Just the house." But sleep wouldn't come. The next morning she inspected the wall where the word had been. No scratches now, only smooth paint. But when her eyes drifted toward the bedroom wall, the one shared with the attic, she saw 3 new scratches, LISTEN. Lena took a photo and emailed it to her friend Mara, who replied with a mixture of concern and skepticism. "Probably just moisture movement or nails shifting," Mara wrote. "Old houses do weird things. But if you feel unsafe, maybe stay with someone a night." Lena didn't write back. That afternoon she climbed the creaky stairs to the attic, determined to prove to herself there was nothing dangerous. Old trunks, dusty books, broken furniture, all the usual remnants of time. She flicked on the single bare bulb and scanned the room. At first nothing seemed out of place. Then she noticed the floor. Near the far wall, the boards were darker, as though damp or stained. She crouched for a closer look. That's when she saw it. A small hole, round and jagged, like an animal had chewed through. Her breath caught. But before she could retreat, something moved. A sliver of darkness shifted beneath the floorboard, like an eye watching her. Lena backed away, her phone raised like a weapon. "Hello," she called, voice quavering. "Is someone there?" Nothing. She left the attic hastily and didn't go back for days. But that night, once again, she heard the scratching. Only now it was closer. Beneath her bedroom floorboards, she lay rigid, listening. A slow, deliberate scratch, 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 like claws moving underneath the wood. Her heart thudded painfully. Then a voice, faint, muffled, but unmistakably a voice, whispered, "Lena." She bolted upright, sweat chilling her skin, blood pounding in her ears. "Who's there?" she shouted. Silence. The next morning, she called a local handyman, a middle-aged man named Mr. Whitaker, whose yellow truck was as much a fixture in Hollow Creek as the church steeple. He arrived with tools in a battered canvas bag and a weathered smile. "What seems to be the trouble?" he asked. Lena hesitated. I think something's in the walls. He raised an eyebrow, but followed her up the stairs to the bedroom. She pointed to the floor. I hear noises, scratches, and last week I found words on the wall. Mr. Whitaker scratched his chin. Words. Yeah, like someone carved them. Help, listen. His expression softened. Old houses can play tricks on you. But I'll take a look. He tapped his flashlight on, then knelt beside the floorboards. After a moment he found the loose board. Here we go, he said, prying it up. There was nothing beneath. Just blackness, a crawlspace, empty, silent. He shined his light inside. Looks like just dust and spiders, he said. Lena exhaled, tears of relief threatening. So, nothing here. Nothing, he confirmed, placing the board back. But as he hammered it down, a faint whisper brushed against both their ears. Don't go. Lena staggered back. What was that? She breathed. Mr. Whitaker froze, eyes wide. I thought I heard. He stopped mid-sentence. I should go. He left in a hurry. Lena stood alone in the silence. Her pulse slowed, but unease lingered. That night she barely slept. When dawn came, light spilled in through the curtains, bringing with it a fragile sense of normalcy. She sat at her desk and tried to write, until a draft brushed the back of her neck, cold and insistent. She turned, expecting a window ajar. But they were all closed. On her monitor screen, new words appeared, typed though no keys had been pressed. I'm in here, Lena screamed. Heart hammering, she unplugged the computer. But even after the screen went black, the message seemed to pulse behind her eyes. She fled the room. In the hallway, she noticed fresh scratches along the walls, hundreds of tiny gouges, as though something had tried repeatedly to break through. From the floor up to her shoulder. From wall plate to wall plate, they formed lines, spirals, patterns impossible to decipher. Tap, tap, tap. The sound returned. Beneath the walls. Beneath the floorboards. Underneath. Lena backed away, all rational thought abandoning her. She ran from the house, barefoot and trembling, down the steps and out onto the yard. The morning dew clung to her ankles, but she didn't care. She ran until the house was a distant silhouette behind her. She called her sister, who arrived with a duffel bag and a reassuring presence that steadied Lena's frayed nerves. You don't have to go back, her sister said. I know, Lena whispered, gaze fixed on the road leading away from the house. They spent the night at her sister's place. But that evening, while Lena unpacked her phone, she noticed a new photo in her gallery. She hadn't taken it. It was a picture of the Victorian house. Shot from the inside. From the hallway. You could see the peeling wallpaper, the old rug, and, in the far doorway, a silhouette. Tall and thin, arms hanging low, face obscured in shadow. Lena's breath caught. She had never taken that photo. Her sister looked over her shoulder. Oh wow, she said. Who's that? But when Lena zoomed in, the figure dissolved into pixels, leaving only an empty hallway. That night Lena slept with lights on and the curtains drawn. She told herself it was over. Until she dreamed of the attic. In the dream, she climbed the stairs. With each step, the wood groaned underfoot like a cry. At the top, the attic lay dark and silent. Then, at the far wall, the loose board creaked open. From beneath it emerged a hand, pale, slender, dragging itself into the room. The fingers scraped dirt as they extended. Then another. Then the rest of the body followed, slithering into the dim light. The face that looked up at her was hollow-eyed, lips pulled back in a silent scream. Help me. Lena woke with a gasp. Her phone vibrated on the bedside table. A message, unknown number. Help me. Her blood ran cold. She dropped the phone. It clattered to the floor. Underneath it, tiny scratches marred the hardwood. Help. Lena didn't sleep again. She left Hollow Creek the next morning, selling her belongings and moving to a studio apartment downtown, where the streets buzzed and the lights never truly dimmed. For a while, she thought the house was gone from her life. But sometimes, late at night, her phone buzzes. Unknown number. No words, just an image. A dim hallway. And a shadow standing just beyond the light. If you enjoyed this chilling story, don't forget to subscribe for more. Hit the like button to show your support, and click the bell so you never miss a spine-tingling update. Stay curious, and stay safe.